Welcome back to OpenLine. John Navin is here from John Navin and Associates, and every time he's on, he offers the stress test challenge. Tell us what this is.
Yes, the stress test. The stress test is the first step in our process. It's called the portfolio stress test. And what we do is we invite people to come in, share with us a little bit of information about their portfolio. From that point, what we can do is we can analyze it for a few different things. First and foremost, we look at the measure of risk that a person is taking. So how much risk is this portfolio subject to? So we could look and say, okay, if this happens like we're going through now, how much is your portfolio going to go down? So at least you know what it is that you have. The second thing is, what are you paying in fees? So how expensive is your investments costing you? And you know, from there, that opens the whole gamut to discuss if the portfolio is in line with what you're trying to achieve. So very similar to what we've been talking about so far, but the portfolio stress test is in essence, when the market crashes, how much of your money is going to go down, and do you know what you're paying and how much of that portfolio is going to go down. And today, as we always do, if you're one of the first 10 callers, we will do that absolutely complimentary.
And no one's there right now to answer the phone, but you can leave a message and say, hey, saw you on OpenLine, just want to call and do my stress test. Give me a holler.
Yep.
Leave your name, number, and they will
We'll call you back first thing in the morning.
Okay, that's good enough. It's a good way to start the year, too.
Oh, it is.
It's a part of finding that financial balance. Hopefully it puts you on the right foot.
Well, you know, and we've been talking about balance, which is, again, is fun. I enjoy it. And anytime you can relieve stress, that's going to automatically create more balance in your life.
Yeah.
So if you can get rid of anything that's causing stress, or I shouldn't say the biggest, but one of the key things that causes stress is not knowing. So people just don't know what they have, and then what happens is, you know, as the statements start to come, they don't open them anymore.
Yeah.
Like now, you watch this next quarter, there'll be a bunch of people will come in and the statement's not even opened, it's still sealed, because they don't want to look at it. That doesn't solve the problem. It just says you didn't open your statement. Doesn't change anything.
This is true.
So get good information, and once you have good information, which again, unfortunately, in our industry, is hard to find.
Yeah, because you don't know when you're getting that good information.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you know?
You have got to go to the sources that are reliable, that aren't specifically just based upon the advisor. So now we'll jump to money for a second, or at least looking at how to choose an advisor, or at least get good information. Do a little background checks on them, find out who they are is one thing. The other thing that I would strongly suggest is looking at people who are what they call registered investment advisors. What they do is they have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure they're doing the right thing for your portfolio. A lot of brokers are out there, and brokers aren't bad. It's just they work on commission. And so everything that they do, if you went to them, they're going to solve your problem, but they're going to solve your problem with the product. But they're going to solve it based upon what you said. Did I ever tell you a story about Lou the dietitian?
No.
Okay.
I've never heard of Lou.
Lou the dietitian, or I should say Lou the butcher.
Oh.
Yeah, there's Lou the butcher and there's Sally the dietitian.
Okay.
So you go into a butcher shop, and I'm from Chicago. You go into Chicago and you go into the butcher shop. You say, "Hey Lou, what do you have back there?" And he says, "Oh, John, the veal chops are phenomenal." So you end up buying veal.
Sure.
You go back a couple days later. You say, "Lou, what looks good back there?" He says, "John, you're not going to believe it. The steaks from Montana are unbelievable." So you end up buying a steak. When sometimes what you really need to do is to go into the butcher shop and buy some fish.
Sure.
So Sally the dietitian will take a look at the whole picture and say, okay, based upon where you are, John, you're 260 pounds, you need to step away from...
You need to not be friends with Lou for a while.
You leave Lou over there. You go over here and have some fish. So, yeah, you got to... And that's the big thing. So advisors work the same way. Most people think they're all the same because we all sound the same. We sound like a bunch of talking heads.
Sorry.
And yes, we do. I know. So you have to find those folks that sound different and talk different. And the big thing is registered investment advisors, because then they have a fiduciary responsibility to be on your side of the table and not provide a product.
So one of those questions should be, are you a
fiduciary or a registered investment advisor? Is one of those things, yes. And then do a little bit of homework. You know, it could be the Better Business Bureau, could be the Ethics Committee, could be Google. Do they have any complaints? Could be the SEC. But that's about the advisor. Then once you get that information, you're going to want to make sure that you do have to educate yourself a little bit. For example, I'll put a shameless plug in. We have a few classes that we run, and we charge folks $49. They're run through, for example, we have one coming up in February at MTSU. They're 2-night classes, and they go for 6 hours. This is all educational, totally educational. We do not talk about, then we could talk about anything, but it's from an education perspective. So when you pay for something, typically you can get better information because then somebody gets paid. And it's worth taking the time to spend a few bucks to go educate yourself. So spend 6 hours, whether it's with me or somebody else. Take some time, spend a few dollars to learn more about it.
So you learn the vocabulary, you learn the basics. It sounds like kind of like a 101 class.
Exactly.
This is what you need to go going in.
And we have, funny you mentioned that, so we have classes at MTSU, and I'm going to come back to 101. And then we have another course running in Mount Juliet through the Mount Juliet Community Center. And then we're going back into Franklin towards the end of March at the Williamson County Chamber of Commerce. So all these different places, you can come in, log into our website, and they're just educational classes that you can come in and attend. We are also doing a Discover 101 retirement class. Okay. Because people just don't know the basics. And it got so convoluted and everything gets so far up in the air that it's hard to just really, okay, what is a mutual fund?
Yeah.
Or what's an annuity? How much should I be saving? What is the first question? What's my number? Meaning, what is my monthly income? What do I need my monthly income to be? Some folks are, how do I get out of debt? Where do you find information about that? So just a lot of those basic things.
I found when I got out of college, started investing money, the financial advisors or brokers, whoever I had, I don't even know, see, I wasn't asking the right questions, just start talking to you, and about 5 minutes in, you were completely lost. And I thought, you know what, I didn't go to school for this. I am a communication major with a Spanish minor. This is not what I did. I wasn't taught this, and that's not my fault. That's just not my interest. So I need to be able to trust somebody, and you got to start with, okay, this is what this is, and this is what this is, and here we go.
Yeah. And not just you as a communications major and a Spanish minor, they don't teach these courses in college. They'll teach you how to make money, but they don't tell you where to do it or what to do with it once you make money.
Is that frustrating to you as a financial guy? You have two girls, right?
Yep.
To see them grow, and you're like, hey, wait, we're missing part of the education process here.
We're missing a big step. Yeah. And so that's why we do a lot with education. A lot of times we'll do it for free. We do programs like this. We do the college courses. Sometimes we'll do public stuff for free. Discover 101 is going to be for free. Just because you have to get information. The problem is with doing free workshops or complimentary workshops, then people are concerned because they're going to get sold something.
Right, or what's the gimmick?
And then we sound like everybody else. We want you to come to a dinner seminar or to some other workshop. Most of the folks that we work with don't attend those things. We'll do them every so often, or free events for the public, just to keep the education out there, because we believe in it.
Sure.
And not just on money. We talked about balance, and we talk about other stuff, and how money is not the key. We need money, but it's not going to be the key to your happiness.
And I found out during the commercial break, your real passion is helping people connect and find what they love. Yeah. It's not exactly investing money. You like it, you make money at it, this is your thing, this is what you do, it's your living. Yes. But what really gets you going is connecting people to doing what they love.
When people can really look and go, okay, they'll come in a year later or 2 years later, and we don't have a long process to help people discover what their passions are. I know how to do it I know where to send them. I worked for a lot of years trying to create something. I wanted to be able to be the guy that could do it, but it's this big. Yeah. And so you've really got to narrow the focus and say, what are you really, really good at? We're really, really good at investing money. But we also know that these other two areas, discovering what you love to do and having the health to complete it, are imperative in that circle. So you have to have them all. But I know where to go. So I know the people in both areas. For example, I'll stay on personal. to help you discover what you love to do, there's tons of resources to really go, all right, what is it that I love to do, and where can I go to get that information to figure out what I love to do? Just like we talked about money.
Yeah.
The same holds true to figuring out what you love to do. People had been, and most people that come see us, they went to school. Most of them went to college. They went to college. They got a job. After you got a job, what do? You're supposed to get married. So then they get married. Well, then we're supposed to buy a house. We're supposed to have kids. So let me have kids. So you get on this treadmill. Well, now you're 25 and you're running on this treadmill for the next 30 years, and it's usually around 50, 55. People go,
oh,
yeah. What do I want to do, and what am I supposed to do? And I want to get to this retirement because that's the next thing that's on my list of what I'm supposed to do after you work these 30 years. Well, I'm saying you can retire at 50 if you want. You just have to have enough money. You can work until you're 80 if you want. You can do anything you want. You just have to create it around what you love to do. So that part is neat. So people come back a year or two later and they go, oh gosh, you showed us a way to put our money in different buckets to allocate it so that I know that it's taken care of and I know there's enough money safe. I can go do the things I love to do. Yes. And when they retire, they have the energy and they have the desire and the time to step back and go, okay, what do I love to do? And that's where they come and they start to ask more questions. And you had mentioned that one time during the class, or you talk about your passion is this. Where do I go for that? And I send them down, and they come back. Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to come back and I want to open a flower shop, or I want to learn to play the piano, or I want to write a book. Or I had one client who went to the Nashville Diesel Mechanic School. He had a boat that he kept in Florida, and he was tired of paying people to fix his diesel engines. It was like a 40-foot boat. So he went back to school for 2 years, and now he's a certified diesel mechanic.
How cool is that?
So it just depends on what you want to do. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. So that, and then physically, because we're in I say we because I do a lot of this stuff with my wife, the triathlon world. I mean, I can send you to all the experts in the industry, you name it. Well, they all cost a little bit of money, but you can go to, or call me and I can do it for free. But you can learn from people about how do you eat right? How do you what does a workout plan look like? What is it? And these are people who are passionate about just that. I mean, yeah, I could list their accolades, but it's not necessary. Just how.
But what it boils down to is just finding that balance in your life, in every part of your life.
Yeah.
And when you say it, sometimes I think, whew, that sounds overwhelming. That's a lot of work to do. And it can be. You want to invest in yourself, but it can be done.
Yes, and it doesn't. One of the mistakes I see people make in all areas. Let's talk fitness for a second, because it'll correlate and people hopefully can understand it. You don't start by doing it all.
Yes.
You start with one thing.
Right.
And what I mean is stand up during the commercials. That's it. So next time you go to a commercial break, stand up. You're beginning a fitness plan. People think, oh, I got to go run a 5K or I have to run a mile. I mean,
I'm going to cut carbs. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And it's like, whoa, overwhelming 11 days in.
That's awful.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it all in the trash.
That's right. And then you don't do any of it, and we go back to our old self.
Yes.
So, yeah, you have to look and go, okay, take one in any area. And it won't happen overnight. You're not going to fix all this stuff in a year. You won't fix it in a year. And that was the other thing, especially today. People want the... I'm going to say it. They want the fat crapper blocker pill, right? They want to pop a pill that's going to block everything I eat. I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm 20 pounds lighter.
Yes.
It doesn't happen.
No, John, don't say that.
I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Same holds true with every other area.
You're not going to
Financially,
become a millionaire overnight, unless you hit the lottery.
Unless you hit the lottery, but you're going to have to take small steps. But what you're going to discover when you do that is you're going to slowly change yourself into what you want to be. So when you take those steps, you did the work you own it. Nobody else did it. You didn't buy it. You didn't buy it off TV for $19.99. You did it. You own it. And you take the credit for it. So I thought of something else. It takes 21 days to change a habit. And most people say it's 30 because we don't do anything for 21 days by itself. Usually something comes into play, a weekend hits, and so we have a break in it. But it takes between 21 and 30 days to change a habit. It may be drinking more water. I read somewhere that you drink a couple glasses of water first thing in the morning, helps flush out your system, gets everything going. It was hard for me. I did that about 6 months ago. Hard for me to start. You wake up before you drink coffee and drink 2 glasses of water. That's a lot of water.
It is a lot.
But it becomes a habit, and now it's a habit. I can't get up in the morning without drinking my water. I got to drink 2 glasses of water. And if we're supposed to drink 8 a day, I mean, it's a very, very good start.
You're on your way already by 8 a.m. Yeah.
And maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's taking a class. It can be anything. Pick one small thing and start.
Focus on that.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with John Nathan. Stick around.